Good morning and happy Sunday, everybody. I'm Reverend Charlotte McGinnis, and as always, want to thank you all for taking the time to join me here on your beautiful Sunday mornings. And hopefully you'll get a little bit of inspiration, something to put a little spring in your step and make your day a little happier and more peaceful. Well, for all the mothers out there, happy Mother's Day. I hope y'all are having a great day, celebrating a well-deserved honoring of all the blessings you bring to the world. I'm not a biological mother, but I feel like I'm mother to many. So pets, friends, siblings, things, all sorts of things. So I think all of us are mothers, all who choose to be. So anyway, happy Mother's Day. Hope you guys are having a celebration worthy of yourself. And it looks like happy to Dawn. And my phone is a little funky today. So welcome everybody. Hopefully you all can see me. So I want to talk today about something, heal yourself first and see what comes after that. That's really the crux of what I'm going to talk about. But before we go there, hey, everybody, and I can't see who's here because you're sideways. Sorry about that. Phone's not behaving. Anyway, a little bit about our mother. It's interesting as I reflect back. She left this world in 2017. So it's been, wow, hard to believe, 6 years. And anyway, she was a terrific lady and unique in her own way, and really didn't have any interest in what really other people were interested in as a rule. She was her own woman, and I think I get a lot of that from her. But anyway, I was telling someone this story a few years back, and many of you know that we grew up in a Methodist church, very positive, uplifting, inspiring environment, which was all really cool and good. And anyway, also that was a lot of my father's family. My mother, they met in church. So at the church, she was his Sunday school teacher, but that's a whole other story. But anyway, my mother had an interest in astrology. I remember when we were kids, we had a city market in town, and she used to go to the city market and meet with this fella named Catfish. He was just a old country guy. I remember meeting him a few times when I was real little. And he was psychic and intuitive and real interesting and just laid back. And so she would go there and get astrology readings and psychic readings, and she'd bring home all these books and read those and about horoscopes. And so we got introduced to that very early on. And then she got us a Ouija board, interestingly enough. So we played with the Ouija board when we were really little. To be honest with you, at this point, I don't think I'd want one, but at the time it was fun. They kind of scare me now. But anyway, so that was, that was part of my environment. I had the Jesus Christian perspective, and then I had the astrology Ouija board, and also the horoscopes, of course. And she also got us those 8 balls. Remember those 8 balls that you used to ask a question and turn over? So definitely she was a part of my integrative, broadened spiritual perspective, to say the least. So I so appreciate that, because I think it is important to have a well-rounded perspective and experience, and sort of find what works and fits with your belief system and your ideas and ideals, and just see where that takes you. And so it's all good. And I do happy Mother's Day up in heaven, Mom. We miss you so much. And but I know you're with us every day. So back to my comment earlier: heal yourself first, the rest will come later. I think that we talk about this often, and we tend to do things backwards. We tend to want to, change our external environment, shift this, shift that. And we're trying to change the players on the screen of our life or our projection, and it just doesn't seem to work, does it? It seems like the more we try to fix, change, do this, do that, it just doesn't seem to work. It just keeps us perpetuating deeper into the abyss of the matrix. And so what we really need to understand is that everything starts within our frame of thought, our belief systems, our programs. And what this world is showing us is it's a projection of our consciousness. And it's a projection of our individual and collective consciousness. But the cool thing is we're not separate from the collective at all, because we're all interconnected. We're all really one in spirit. It's like they say that the waves can't be separate from the ocean. Every piece of sand, grain of sand is part of all the beaches. So every ray of sun is a part of everything. And we're part of that as well. We're not separate from each other. We're not separate from nature. We're not separate from our creator, our brothers and sisters. We're not separate from anything. So when we understand that, not only is this a projection of what I see in my day-to-day experience, is not only is that a projection of my own consciousness and belief systems, but it's a collective experience as well, because there's only one of us here, meaning the one collective mind, the sonship. We're all extension of the rays of God, in other words. So as I say often, my favorite quote from Ram Dass, we're all here to walk each other home. And sometimes we want to kick a few of the players out. It's like, get rid of them, and don't want to play with them anymore. How's that working for you? Usually what happens is if we don't make peace with what is, we're just going to draw back in another experience that's going to teach us the lesson we were meant to learn the first time, right? Well, fortunately, as we do our work and we begin to take responsibility, we find that there's certain places where we might not choose to put our energy so much, right? We're doing our healing, inner healing. And as a result, things just drift away, drop away. We don't have to fight it anymore or justify it or defend it or push it, struggle. It just is, again, our extension of our projector is projecting a more peaceful movie, right? So always remember, it's about fixing the projector. Well, also enjoy the journey, the title of my talk today. I really feel that joy is really what this journey is about. The struggle thing is something that we just made up and think that we have to struggle and fight and be sad and go through pain and suffering. And what really I've come to realize at a much deeper level now, that my suffering is, and I've known this and I've even spoken about it, but I really, when you sort of speak about it, it intellectually and you sort of, yeah, that makes sense and I get it, but then you integrate it and then you're like, wow, I get that. When you realize that everything, quote from the Course in Miracles, everything is for your own best interest. Even the stuff that we think is really mucky and yucky and sucky is all there for our best interest. So everything is a teaching device for bringing us home, for waking us up. So what gets us in sadness and in stress and anxiety and pain and suffering is that we want this story, we want our projection to be different. In other words, so we get out of, in other words, what really I'm choosing to say here is that we identify our happiness and our well-being with the conditions of my experience. Well, guess what? Every experience that comes into your existence is there as a lesson, as a teaching device, and it's all coming to you in love. And we have at some level chosen every one of these experiences. So it's when you understand that the players that are sort of working with us through this classroom, okay, Shakespeare said, all the world's a stage and we're all players on that stage, right? Well, when you understand that they're just playing the role that we invited them to play, and we're playing the role that they invited us to play, get out of the judgment. Don't give it so much meaning. Get over yourself and just say, thank you for the lesson. Thank you for the lesson. I really feel like that it's Godspeed that we can move forward when we allow ourselves to see everything as a lesson, and everything is a blessing. Everything, not just some things. So if something's provoking a charge or upset or anxiety or fear or sickness, whatever it might be, just look at that as an opportunity for learning something, for healing something, and to remember that our soul, the true nature of who we are, the truth of who we are, is changeless, formless, and eternal, and not affected by any of this stuff that's going on that we give so much meaning to. I've been watching a lot of videos lately. I tend to do that all the time, actually, just inspirational, spiritual videos. I enjoy all sorts of different perspectives. So I've moved beyond the Ouija board and the 8-ball in the Methodist Church into a lot of other things. And I just do it with an open heart and open mind. And I'm not one to attach to any of it. It's just kind of like, okay, that makes sense. That doesn't. Let it go. Take that in, whatever it is. But one teacher who is no longer on the earth plane as well, Dolores Cannon, she was amazing with her teachings, and she definitely was an evolved being. She had a lot of wisdom. She had a lot of forward. She was a futurist. She was able to tap into big time potential with all of us. And so she talks about, how we don't take this journey so seriously. In other words, let go. It's not worth it. Don't take things so seriously, because it's not that serious. The only thing that has meaning is us getting the lesson we're here to get. And then we can lift that veil and be in joy more. So there are some things we can do to bring more joy into our life. And that is sort of tapping into what makes me feel good. What brings me happiness and joy? Well, for me, it tends to be, I love to cook. That brings me joy. That brings me peace. It's creative. I love cooking. I love being in nature. My newest passion is pickleball. I've been meaning to take that on for the past few years, but just recently, finally signed up for a clinic and really love it, and have met some great people. And it's just, I can't wait to get out there. And I really haven't had that experience of being that excited to do anything athletically since I was playing a lot of golf in the past. Sort of lost interest in that. I keep thinking maybe someday. I don't know. I'm not pushing that either, but this is definitely something that's got me going, and it's fun, and the people are so nice. And interestingly enough, everything is a metaphor for life. I mean, we can bring spirit into, well, everything. We do bring spirit. Everything is our ministry. Our life is our ministry, right? So I love and appreciate the people that I've met in pickleball, because it's kind of like no pressure, no apologies, just have fun. They're so willing to help and support and not judge. And because you do feel kind of funky and out of place, anytime you take on something new, and just to be able to be integrated into such a kind and supportive group of people is wonderful. And from what I gather, this is not uncommon. It seems to be the way pickleballers are. They're just cool, fun people. Maybe because when most people start, they're a little older, maybe not as physically fit and active as they may have been in the past. And so we're a little more patient and understanding with ourselves and each other. Whatever the case, pickleball is really lifting my vibe and making me happy. And so sometimes we need to just go inside and ask ourselves, what is it that would bring me joy? What is it? Is it music? Is it bowling? Is it hiking, cooking, what have you, but really pay attention and listen, because again, we're here to fix our own projector, do our own inner healing. And every time I choose a vibe that's joyful and happy, I'm actually healing the entire matrix through that intention. We're all being lifted because we're not separate from one another. And the really cool thing is the power of joy, the power of love is way more powerful than the power of perceived fear. So the world needs a little more light, a lot more light, right? People are going through these crazy transitional times and everything seems to be breaking down. People are getting sick. They're losing their money. They're scared. They're not able to get a job, inflation, whatever it is. Turn off the media, right? It's just that perpetual alarm going off. Again, it's not happening to us, it's happening for us. So we can look at the breakdown of our illusion, and that's what it is, an illusion. It's a projection, it's not real. But we can look at that and we can get sucked into that and become afraid and sick and anxious, or we can just step back and rise above it and just observe it from the rise above the battleground and just look at it and watch it like we're watching a movie without trying to fix it, change it, just send it peace and love. Well, this has been actually a really fun week. It was Ellen's birthday this week, and she's very quiet and not wanting to celebrate. Me, I love to be with all my friends and let's get together and do something fun. And Ellen's like, I don't want to do anything. Don't tell anyone it's my birthday. And but we went to, one thing she did want to do is go to a lecture. And we went to a few weeks ago, it came out, tickets sold out in a minute. Jason Shurka, I don't know if y'all know who he is. He's a dynamo, 25 years old. I'd look him up, Shurka, Jason. He's an amazing being, really. And what he's done, where we got introduced to him, was several months back, we were watching him be interviewed. He's usually the one doing the interviews, but he was being interviewed by none other than our favorite astrologer, Pam Gregory. And I was like, oh my gosh, he's talking about this EE system and very cool technology. And it's scalar technology, which is like Tesla technology, and the capabilities and all of these things that he was talking about were things that Ellen and I had been studying and knowing were coming and very excited about. So as soon as this was over, I said, Ellen, we got to get one of these, whatever it is. And it turns out that it was called the EE system. And anyway, he has, although the system's been around for years, he really helped to get it out to the masses. And he has done a terrific job. They have got hundreds of these all over the world, centers all over the world now. And you really just go sit in this energy field. They're like computer-like devices with colors and energetics and vibration. And it just heals you. It really helps you to put your body in a state of homeostasis, which is a self-healing state, and enables you to heal yourself. Because the statement that the creator of this, Sandra Rose Michael, says, the power that made the body heals the body. We forget that. The power that made the body heals the body. Well, she created this technology as a means to put us in a state where we can begin to self-heal and to sort of release all of these frequencies. The future of medicine, as Einstein says, Dr. Oz, they say the future of medicine is vibrational. It's energetic. It's not about pills and this and that and cutting people open, but rather sound healing, vibration. This is really a cutting edge technology, which is so cool. So Jason, anyway, came, did a great lecture, loved what he talked about, very much on our wavelength, a lot of what I share with you here every Sunday. So loved seeing that we have a common message to share. And it was very wonderful and beautiful. And it will be available to watch soon. They're going to edit the video and everything. So I will post it on my Facebook page when it's available, and I would recommend watching it. It's a wealth of information, and he's an amazing guy. And anyway, another thing we did this week, we were invited to a dinner party, which, we didn't know most of the people there. We knew a few of the people. There were like 16 people there, but it was terrific, beautiful home, really gorgeous home here in Hendersonville. And the food was amazing. It was catered by our friend Tia, and she actually is a master chef and can just do wonderful things with food for health and wellness, and just, food as medicine. It was wonderful, and met some really interesting people, and we talked a lot about this new quantum energy, this scalar energy that's coming in, and different modes of healing. So it was really good, talk about doing things that lift your vibe. It was great to be in that circle of conversation where people are looking to move to a new level of being, of healing, of joy. And it was just a great, good food, good friends, nice wine. It was a wonderful evening. So that all of these things, it's been a very up week. And what can we do? What can you do to bring more joy to your life? What is it that makes you happy? Whatever it is, do more of that. Not only do you need more of that, we all need more of that, because every time you choose something that brings you peace and joy and happiness, guess what? We all get the blessing of that. So it's very cool. Well, Michael Beckwith, I was watching him. Hey, Molly, happy Mother's Day. Michael Beckwith, we all know him, right? Agape, founder of the Agape Church out in California. He's a real spiritual pioneer, just a great energy guy. And I always appreciate so much of what he says, and saw an interview with him this week, and he was talking, of course, about the Great Reset and everything that's happening. And he talked a lot about presence, again, letting go of the past. If we want to be part of this new earth, Dolores Cannon, who I mentioned earlier, she speaks of the new earth. If we want to be part of it, we have to let go of all of our stuff, because we can't. This new earth is in my understanding and my intuitive knowing, it's a vibration of non-duality. It's all about light and love and cooperation and collaboration and miracles and instant manifestation. And so it's a very high vibration. Well, if we can't really cross that bridge into this new earth if we're carrying our baggage of the past with us, our pain, our suffering, what have you. So it's real important to do what you need to do to forgive the past, let it go, and move on. He talked a lot about nothing new, but just nice to hear it again. The power of gratitude, very high vibration energy when we're in gratitude. It's very healing. Gratitude for everything, he said, like I was speaking of earlier, not just, oh, thank you for the windfall of money, or thank you for this. Thank you for everything, even the stuff that we think we don't want, because there is a gift in all of it. And that's part of the new earth, is understanding that. So it's really a relationship with life that we're seeking to live from a higher vibration. And it's a moment by moment decision. And you know what? If you slip and you don't do so well in one moment, choose again. That's the miracle, a shift from fear to love. It's okay to make a mistake. It's okay. Every time someone says, oh, when they hit a bad shot in racquetball or pickleball, that's why I love it. Oh, darn, I'm sorry. No sorries here. No sorries, and everybody's just out there. So we've got to stop saying, I'm sorry. That's such a low, weak place to be. So it just is what it is, right? So we're here to purify, to heal, to move to this next level, to let go. And recently in our Friday Course in Miracles class, which everyone, of course, is always welcome to join, We're on chapter 2 still, and we were talking about the function of the miracle worker. And the miracle worker what is a miracle worker? Well, we're all miracle workers, all really, but I would say a conscious miracle worker is somebody who's willing to see beyond the veil of fear, beyond the projection of separation, and being willing to see the light and love in all things. So if you choose to be a miracle worker, it's recognizing that we need to put our focus and attention and intention on that which is light of love. And that means changing our perspective and viewpoint of it, and seeing through the eyes of the Holy Spirit, the eyes of Christ, rather than the eyes of fear or the ego. So I've read this quote over the years many times, or something similar to it, and it just never felt right. And of course, sometimes when I'm in a place of like being ticked at something or someone, then I want to, then it makes sense, right? But the soul of me knows it's not a very high quote. So I'd like to give you the quote and then an alternative perspective to that. And the quote that I'm sharing says, "Create an aura so powerful that all shady energy directed at you naturally bounces back to its original manifester." Okay, well, sometimes, can't you just feel sometimes, though, when you're just being bombarded with people who are upset and angry and judging, and they're just throwing that icky energy at you, and you feel it without. So I used to say, okay, I put a shield up and it's just going to bounce back and you can take it back. It's not mine. Well, I believe that what I've changed it to in my field, my consciousness, is to create an aura so powerful that all shady energy that's directed at me disappears into light. In other words, my light is so bright that when darkness comes to me, no, I'm not going to throw it back at you and say, you need to suffer, this is your karma, blah, blah, blah. Because again, the new earth, if we want to be in that state of consciousness, I don't think it's about throwing the darkness back, okay? But rather just being so bright that the light just dispels the darkness. And that's, I think, our role as miracle workers. That's really what we're here to do always at this time. Take responsibility for all of it. Tune in, ask for guidance, listen. We all get different messages. So I might be guided to choose this remedy for a situation or this reaction to a situation, and you may be led to completely different. But we're all on our path, and we got to pay attention and listen. But as we become more aware that everything is a blessing, everything, even though it doesn't appear that way sometimes, and to understand that we all are playing a role here. Who is a teacher of God? Anyone who chooses to be one, right? Well, if we're choosing to be one, then we now don't throw the darkness back, but just bless it with light. That's how we move into this next dimension of being, awareness. We're already there, but we're just lifting the veil, which enables us to vibrate at a higher level. So anyway, heal ourselves first. That's the goal. Shine so bright that all the darkness disappears around you. And above all, enjoy the journey. So thank you all for tuning in today, and hope all you mothers out there have a happy Mother's Day, and many blessings to all. And we'll see you next Sunday. And in the meantime, be happy, be well, and enjoy the journey. Namaste.